One, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Hey, You Will Make It TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for taking the time to click on another one of our live segments and listen in over here on another one of our discussion topics. For those that are new to our channel, welcome 1,000 times. This is the hub for inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics, all 2025 year long. We've been going this strong, and we are excited about the content that we get to bring to you guys throughout the fall and winter as well. So, if you haven't already, please remember to hit that like button to show your support. Subscribe and comment below as well, your own inputs or thoughts. The main goal of my insightful topics are to trigger people to think more direct and in areas that maybe they had never thought before. I think they call it opening opening our horizons or elevating our consciousness. If you would have told me 10 years ago I would be talking like this, I wouldn't have believed you. I'm serious. I've always been a quote unquote wise guy, if you will, or smarty pants when it came to the book stuff, but some of the things that I'm becoming a quote unquote wise guy or insightfulness thinker, some of the things I've been, going into the direction of elevating and expanding my own consciousnesses about has really shocked me. So it's such a beautiful process, though, as far as growth, that you just don't want to hold it alone. Why not come and share some insightful topics? So thank you guys for your support. Also, we invite you guys and girlies to feel free to tune in to previously recorded segments too. We don't just talk about celebrities and what's in the news. We talk about what the people feel, need, and want too. So that's what's going to separate You Will Make It TV from any other, podcast, broadcast, however you want to say it, okay? But yeah, today we're just talking about another trending topic. Again, homelessness, the housing market. But anybody can say, oh, homelessness is a topic, and how to survive homelessness, and how to stay out of homelessness. We all get those topics all the time. But what about those topics where we're talking more homelessness prevention? That's Miss Whitney here. That's what I like to more look at when we talk about preventative measures and looking at all of the preventative measures all the way across the board. Because some people are just old-fashioned to me, and they just say, well, the best way to prevent homelessness is going to work. Well, how can you continue to say that? And it's people out here with 2 and 3 jobs still struggling with their rent, dude. I say what some have said years ago, that they see the future of the housing market in America. It's like more people will eventually be forced to roommate. Do you guys know what a roommate is? But I said the word forced, FORCED. They might be forced to more roommate, okay? And I want to expand a little bit on what I mean, because nobody ever said roommating was bad. I mean, anybody who chooses that option, we would understand it's their business. But I'm sure everybody that's ever had a roommate can tell us that it worked out better for them. For some, yes. For some, not. But let's talk about the financial reasons why it works out better for some, okay? When you have a roommate or 2 or 3, you're not just worried about a whole mortgage payment on your own or a whole rental payment on your own anymore, are you? No, because you would have more assistance. More y'all are pitching in to pay that. I even heard more people are kind of living out of Airbnbs. That's been going on. Now, it had a peak in people doing it during the pandemic, of course, but I'm just making sure the world understands that never stopped. People are still living out of Airbnbs right now. So don't let anybody try to tell you. That's why I say here at You Will Make It TV, I do preach that home is where the home is where the heart is, not some street address. Okay, it's people out here turning whole furnished Airbnbs into the place that they sleep, shower, and eat every night, just to go back and forth from work every day, just to keep their kids in school every day, just to have a place to receive their mail. Okay, that's another part of homelessness that we don't talk about enough. Where do people mail be going while they're homeless? You know what I mean? A lot of y'all probably think, well, homeless shelters have addresses. Okay, but the people on the streets, where does their mail go? When they got to go to the hospital and get checked out for something because they're, not because they're homeless, but while they're homeless. Even hospitals, when it's called the registration process, they ask questions like, hey, what's your insurance? And then that next magical question, what's your address? And hopefully you have one, because where are they supposed to send your medical bill, right? It's just interesting to think about, right? Like, I don't think all avenues of platform of conversation is touched on when the word homelessness is even brought to the table as a discussion. And don't worry, guys, I'm in the background myself looking to join another homeless coalition board. If I don't join one in my local community or abroad, I can see myself in the near future probably starting one, because it doesn't take much to get a panel of people together who actually care, not just, I'm not saying, oh, care about the homeless. No, that's not what I mean, but care about the factors that both lead to it and the preventative measures that could help prevent it. That's the type of panel I'm looking to join or start myself. I didn't know how to put it in words, but yeah, like that's the best way I can describe it, because it's going to be needed. Now, my panel, my little homelessness prevention group, it's not just going to be all about telling people to pay bills and go to work, because we know that there are more factors that surround what lead people to homelessness. Now we're talking about in modern day now, and what keeps them in it when they are already in the cycle. Because to me, having a preventative team that understands how they can help people to even, because once you get to that level, yeah, it's a total delay. People thought the delay that people complain about when they're homeless is only being homeless. No, now you don't even have an address to try to keep your life together. Hopefully you have a place to store your documents, right? Hopefully you have a storage area to park your car. Homeless is just the first level of your battle, right? And this is not our first homelessness reverence topic at all here at You Will Make It TV. If you want to hear others that we've already recorded, please check out the live section of my channel here, and you can just kind of tune in to other ones. Like here recently in the month of August, we had a whole week designated to homelessness awareness, and I probably should do that every month, right? I don't know what jumped in my spirit and said, hey, do this for a whole week and make sure it's about awareness in the month of August, but I did obey my spirit, and I'm back here in September with the same intention. And that's just what, ladies and gentlemen, making people more aware of what both homelessness is, the difference between homelessness prevention, and homelessness advocation. Okay, I wouldn't say anybody ever advocates for it. I'm just talking about once you're in that position, how can we advocate and best accommodate people? Because every family or individual situation is going to be 100% different. If you guys agree, don't forget to hit that like button. But why are we still like it's the 80s and 70s? It had to be drugs or something that led you to homelessness. Are people crazy? Wake up. It's modern day times. Okay? We live in a times where literally you can have a job. You can have a bank account too. Now, if you end up, what's that called? Scammed, or your bank account was hacked, that's not something you have to come out and publicly announce. The news announces it for us. Bank of America, I can go down a whole list of banks that actually dealt with scamming issues, not just during the pandemic, but now. Yep, since the pandemic all the way up to now. Or phone companies, right? Like T-Mobile or AT&T, Verizon Wireless have literally came out in the past year, guys, saying, hey, we had a breach. Because, like, what did people think that meant when they say, hey, 2.2 billion users were breached? What did people think that meant? I'm just trying to get a clarification here, right? Kind of asking rhetorical questions, throwing them out there so that we are more aware of why people fall into the cycles of homelessness too. It's not always about drugs or irresponsibility with your finances. Where are you being irresponsible if somebody breaches the whole bank system? Come on, bro. Like, so now you're just going to say 2.2 billion people didn't know how to pay their bills, or maybe they did have some kind of way. Some of these phone companies and banks, though, they have rolled out solutions, I guess, for their customers and clients. I would hope they did, because some of these people are still customers and clients, right? And they are aware of these recent breaches or hacking incidents these banks and phones have been through. I'm just here to speak facts, right? We're not here to step on toes. Or one thing we do try to do is inspire people right here at this channel, for the better, more uplifting and positive reasons in life. There are so many internet scams today, it don't even make sense, guys. Like, even just using social media, that has nothing to do with a bank, does it? Social media accounts, gaming accounts, and a lot of these bill pay servicers have digital ways that you can now pay too. As much as it is good news, I would say it's bad news too, because, like, I should feel protected regardless of how I pay my bill. Just know the days when people used to just go to Western Union and get a money order to pay their bills, you didn't hear about as much. Oh, somebody's whole light bill servicers company was breached. You just didn't hear these kind of stories as much. You didn't hear these stories until more money and finances were being handled digitally, right? What inspired this topic again? Well, I saw somebody else talking about the new updates on, I think there was a new order signed about cashless bails in certain states. I know that it's kind of like a separate topic, but no, anytime I hear the word cashless, it makes me think new world. Again, new world. I didn't say order, but we're definitely in a new world. We're in a new time. We're in a new way that everybody does everything. And I'm so tired of people pretending like we're not. It's like at home, they accept it, but out in public, they want to pretend like everybody is still accepting cash. I was talking about that on the live the other night. No, that's been changed. It's been companies, it's new companies joining that every day. Where they say, yep, we too join the team of people who no longer accept cash. Why am I mentioning that? Well, I kind of saw this happening, if that makes sense. Like, just because you choose to switch to less cashless society does not mean everybody in between, that some people weren't going to fall through the cracks. You got to understand, through each and every big transition we have during the new world, there are going to be some that are slow jumping on the train. How do you say it? Like, kind of jumping on board with those same changes. What are you going to do? Abuse them, throw them in jail, make them be homeless because they didn't understand what a cashless society meant? They didn't understand how to pay their bills online. They didn't understand that, oh, it's a crime to walk to the store just to add cash on your card just to pay a bill. And I want to be more vocal about it, because some people do have to do that. They'll swear you just walk into the store for your leisure, and some people just do it for exercise. Some people go do it to get a breath of fresh air. But I'm telling you how a cashless society is turning people almost kind of crazy too, because all they knew is hustle, hustle, work, work, get money. No, you need to know the new parts about the new world too. You can get all the money you want to if your accounts are not protected, and I mean digitally as well. Digitally, electronically, whatever y'all want to call it. You can get all that money and lose it too. Didn't you just see even Beyonce got robbed the other day, a few months ago? She didn't get robbed of everything, thank God, because sometimes it's not like that. But you got robbed of what you had on you or in her car at that time. I was actually appreciative of the media sharing that story, not because it puts us in Beyonce's business. It's just reminding people how one small incident can change anybody's life. One small incident of theft. THEFT, and y'all know I find spiritual significance in anything I talk about. So when it comes to theft, though, there is a whole commandment in the 10 Commandments, okay? And people hate when I go here, like, oh, okay, she's going to bring God in it. Yep. It says, thou shalt not steal. And the ones that don't steal, you'll notice the other sinners, they be like, well, look at everything else this person do. But we're talking about surviving in new age, new world right now, okay? Theft is like the worst thing a person can do. But I'm not God. It was more than that on the 10 Commandments that a person shouldn't do. And then we just want to think we're finna sit around in the nation and point the finger at one group of people. It doesn't make sense. How long have people been stealing? And how long has God said, hey, let's just not steal. Let's just not steal. Let's just go ahead and everybody work hard for their own earnings and everybody get to success the best way that they can with what they have. I bet you God said it first before they had digital blockchain and digital currencies and online way pays to pay everything. God had already said, thou shalt not steal. That's all I need to know. I don't care what country don't get it, what person doesn't get it, what city. It doesn't matter. That was in the 10 Commandments a long time ago. You know what I mean? And people want to call you a fake Christian or fake believer. No, if anything, I'm going to hold on to my faith even tighter. As we move further and further into the new world, I'm going to need every ounce of faith that I've ever had and some more. I don't know about you guys, but we let people be open about their faith right here at You Will Make It TV. The goal of this channel was never to attract the wrong attention, of course. Who just starts something and say, yeah, I hope the wrong audience finds me. But how God worked too, you could go into a thing hoping for a particular type of audience, but the audience you did attract, that's God's will. What does people mean? That's God's will. Oh, okay. You thought you were more going to be having listeners that actually understand the changes that are happening in the world and why you're talking about them, but maybe not. But whatever audience we attract at You Will Make It TV, my point will be made clear, you know? It's always a volunteer service when you're not being paid for something. I don't care what nobody say. And I still stand on my same testimony that it is the same God of Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac who provides for me when I provide a service that my spirit leads me to do for the people. Don't ask me how I've been able to do it either with no money. But to me, only faith could prove that it's possible. What do you mean? You got a voice, use that. I tried to tell God that too. I don't have no money. He said, you got a voice, you got two hands. And even when the days I didn't appreciate my two hands, he showed me the people out here who are surviving every day with one hand or with one leg, or they still have to survive every day. You see what I'm saying? And those are the people I do be thinking about. Like with all the new world changes that are coming, you also want to kind of have some like avocation in between. Like you don't just let people fall in the cracks. Make sure you got classes and stuff. Because I noticed that like as soon as they start rolling out AI tools and features, right, they literally have classes already today, guys, where people can go enroll just to learn how to better use AI features and tools. And I think it's great. I just like, why we don't have these same type of services for just like right now, every time that man sign a new executive order about something, why don't you have like an avocation group to help people transition into these new orders? No, you're just expected to follow them or be penalized. I didn't say anybody has to agree. I don't. You know. Okay, for example, I said with every executive order, there should also be some type of leniency that allows people time to transition into that new order. Hopefully I make sense with that. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm just saying it makes sense. Now, number one, for example, you said, oh, okay, we're cutting sugary food and snacks off of EBT. Okay, we'll put more dietitian plans on the, what's that called? Like nutrition plans. They always have kind of offered those, but it is more your responsibility to kind of know the nutritional facts of what you're intaking. I'm not saying that has anything to do with the president, but if you're going to be quick to like change how things are going, make sure that there are services there too Or it just looks like you're making orders and hope we fall through the cracks and hope you can catch somebody not following it so you can penalize them. That's how that begins to look. You see, they already rolling out military police just for homeless communities. Like, I'm still angry about that, because that's crazy. Like I said, if as soon as you make an executive order, you also have, because if you got funding to do a new executive order, you got funding to put the stipulations in place that help people to transition into these new changes as well. You see, you don't just say, well, we're doing housing cuts. Oh, okay. And what are the people supposed to do? Whether I need housing or not, I would still be concerned about the people that's going to affect. It was no other stipulation on the side like, oh, okay, well, we have a payment arrangement plans, or we have these new stipulations for HUD, or these new stipulations for landlords. Nope, we don't see that yet. Just direct threats of budget cuts. I heard there's been layoffs too in some of these same agencies, because what do you think happened when you cut funding to a company or organization? Now people lose jobs too. I saw that they're actually, I don't know how to feel about this, but they're actually giving pay raises to police departments just because they know what's coming. What do you mean? Sorry, guys. I usually mute it to stop and blow my nose like that, but it had to come out. They're doing like PD pay raises, guys, because there has been a lot of layoffs. Ain't that crazy? There's been a lot of layoffs in a lot of states. And it's like, I guess to help balance it or something, they said, well, we're going to increase the pay for the police. That's crazy, bro. I'm not saying they don't deserve higher pay. We appreciate what the police do. But even the police have family members. What is wrong with people? Yeah, their families might be okay, but they have extended families and stretched out families just like the rest of us who these changes may also affect. And it's just kind of sad. Like, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. Like, they don't control the executive orders and what the president signs, do they? But they wouldn't deny a pay raise. And that's crazy. If anybody deserves pay raises, it's the daycare teachers, the teachers. I don't want to offend anybody when I say medical personnel should get a pay raise too, because we all know it's kind of hard for us all to keep our health and management intact if we have no doctors and nurses, right? And you see a whole battle going on with the CDC and stuff like that right now, bro. You do know, if you're trying to keep up with the health and betterment of America, cutting out the CDC and budgets and stuff doesn't really help, does it? The more homeless people you have, unsanitized and not being well kept and being able to take care of themselves, yeah, you can expect for diseases to begin to fester. I like to call them plagues. A plague to me is something that affects like a great body of people, and you have to roll out some kind of solution just to stop the sickness. That's a plague. The flu, a cold, allergies, that's not a plague. That could affect anybody, right? But these other sicknesses we've been seeing lately, that's the last one I seen, a case of screwworm. I don't know if that's like ringworm or what. Actually, I'm finna look it up right now. There's been some cases reported right here in America. Like, it don't sound fun. Actually, they talk about so many viruses now. I don't even keep up with it anymore. I can't. It just makes my head spin. And I actually like doing research so I could come and give my own reaction and commentary to the things that change in the world as they happen. Because just so people know, before I had a channel, before I was on what's they called, any of these podcasts and stuff, I was already like a speaker. I just talk a lot. Ask anybody who ever knew me. They had to tell me, hey, let's get off the phone. Literally, they had to find nice, creative ways to tell me to get off the phone. And that's what more influenced my passion to go ahead and get into the field of public speaking, public communications, because you can talk. People will say that ain't a gift. That is a gift. Every one of our voices is a gift. But see, if it was to the point where it was overbearing to people, like, oh my God, you talk too much, They just thought I was gonna shut up. Well, no. Well, my mind went to how can I make a business out of this? How can I provide for my family talking? Since it's what I'm most known for, right? And so here we are. Here we are. And you created a platform and space for others to share their voices as well. Because it's not like somebody ever gave me a blueprint and said this is the way I should go. It just made sense, you know? I think it's coming about 7 p.m. Uh, Girl, how many of those did you make? Did you make your mama one?
Nope.
Me and you didn't make me and Dream one.
But I didn't want to give it away.
Thank you. I might hire you as my assistant soon. Seriously, you did a great job. Next time though, like that's why they make paper clips. I know that stuff seems stupid on desk, but that's why. Like paper clips, staplers, hole punchers, stuff like that. Oh, but I am back. I was just saying, the stuff they're making cuts to, but then you turn around and say, well, we are going to fund, the police are going to get a pay raise increase. It's crazy, you know. That money could have went back into the daycares or the school funding programs or the housing program. I mean, what is our president doing here? You take the funding from the kids and the housing and the food stamps and stuff, and then you say you're going to increase the wages of the police. Like, come on, bro. We're all watching it slowly happen. Okay, so they'll have more weapons and they'll have more gas and they'll have more duties. And they already know why. You cut all this funding off, people are finna be struggling. Oh yeah, and quit telling people to just go get a job. I done already seen it on the news. In many states, there's been over 10,000 layoffs. Okay? Layoffs, y'all. Layoff is not you were fired or you resigned or you quit. Layoff is kind of against your will. And I was wondering, what do you do with the people that are laid off? Because I know they're not all going to find a new job the very next day. It's going to take them 60 to 90 days on average just to find a new job. So it made me wonder about that. Do they know that? The average person, when they lose a job, is going to need 30 to 60 days just to get another one. And it's not because of them. It might take employers that long to get back around you. See, most people, if they got fired in one company, they'll just go to another company, kind of try to work in the same field as what they were doing. For example, if I was a cook at McDonald's and I get laid off, I might try to go become a cook at Burger King or another establishment. It probably wouldn't be the same company, but you would try to, for the most part, stay in the same career industry that you were laid off from. But I would like to hear more stories from the laid off, if that makes sense. Me personally, because I'm human like that, and I like to know what it's like to be other people too. Not saying I want to experience being laid off, but one thing's for sure, when you work for yourself, who the hell can lay you off? But here they are sitting up here attacking all these independent businesses too, and entrepreneurs and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying it's needed. Yeah, research everybody's finances, research everybody's bank accounts, research how everybody get their money. Go for it, Trump. It seems a little stupid when people are out here creating hobbies and work and stuff for themselves, for you to try to make that insanely impossible, but your companies and corporations are laying people off. Make that make sense. I've never heard a person that worked for themselves say, hey, I've been laid off. Have y'all? I've never heard an entrepreneur tell me that they were laid off. You know why? The only way an entrepreneur money slows down is if they slow down. Let's be clear about this. And yes, I do think more independent work methods should be taught when you have these places like workforces or even Job Corps. It was a big deal when people found out that budget cuts were going to be happening to Job Corps facilities across the country. What are we trying to make here? Slaves? What's wrong with Job Corps? They still haven't give us an answer about that. Oh yeah, this was the answer. They said that the graduation percentages were very, very low. This supposedly why they cut off Job Corps funding. It doesn't make sense though, because Schools, systems in different places and universities have always been known. Not all of them, but some of them have always struggled with quote unquote test scores or graduation percentages, And it's never been a reason for funding to be cut. So I know it's something more deeper going on. Once again, I've never heard because test scores were low, that's why you cut funding somewhere. If anything, you would need more funding. Like, hey, what does the school need, or what did Job Corps need, so that you could get the graduation success rates where they needed to be. That's more reason to show you need the funding, not cut it, right? But these are just my thoughts and ideologies about this topic. I would say there's more reason that people need it. Hold on, where did I leave off at? Oh yeah, but yeah, I never heard of an entrepreneur being laid off. I'm sorry. I just want to be a public speaker and keep going on uh, in the spirit that God has led me to go in. And yes, independent business can get lonely sometimes, or you get easily discouraged because you're not waiting on some payroll team or assistants to turn in your weekly analysis. You work for yourself. Thank you, baby. But I would say that we need more laws and protections and mandates that protect entrepreneurs too then, right? Because guess what? People apply for unemployment, and that's something I haven't checked lately, actually. How many how many people do y'all what's that called? How many people do you guys guesstimate have had to apply for unemployment in the past 6 months? How many people do you think have went and had to go apply for unemployment? Because I bet you it's a lot with all these layoffs happening. And it's crazy. Like, they already see what's coming. Like I said, that's why you're increasing the pay of law enforcement. And I think that's great. Like I said, let me make myself clear. I think that's great. I just think that if you have funding to increase security and stuff, why would you decrease where education was once funded? Why? It just doesn't make sense to me. The less educated the people are, the dumber the society. We must remember that. The dumber the communities, the dumber the people. It's really crazy, y'all. Like, but I don't know. I guess we just keep going on and watching executive orders continue to be signed that are actually going to more put people in a vulnerable situation. And if that's the case, I can't help but wonder and think, why would we want to see Americans in even more vulnerable positions than we've already seen? Is somebody trying to maybe bury or cover up the fact that, yeah, Miss Whitney's right. Ever since we had these digital financing banks and mobile banks and stuff, people have been suffering more. I mean, yeah, they make it look good saying, yeah, it's more convenient to pay my bills and receive my paycheck. But is it more convenient for the thieves who steal too? It's crazy. Figure out. I'm still here, guys. What are your opinions? Leave them in the comments. I'll be right back.